Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Harshita and today's video is a really interesting video. It's about interview questions, interview process during placements or internships, and I spoke to some people who got placed and their interview experience. So without further ado, let's dive right into the video. So before moving on to the people who spoke in the video, I'm gonna give you all some general tips and some specific tips that happened with me in my interview. So some general tips it would be make sure you know your CV like in and out. Don't write anything that you do not know in your CV, like nothing. You need to know everything in your CV. So that is one of the most basic tips that I could give you. Are you someone who is looking to get into a law school and is therefore preparing for LSAT but don't know how to ace it? Well, I am conducting a special class on how to ace LSATs with Unacademy. So I'm going to be bringing in two of the LSAT toppers of 2023 who are going to help you with any questions that you have. It's a live class, so you can come and talk to the LSAT toppers and come and talk to me. We're going to address any questions that you have and help you ace the LSATs. So make sure to be there. Link in the description. Secondly, have a good understanding about where you're applying. Research about the firm, their values, why you want to work there, why you resonate with that firm, why you think you'll be a good fit for the firm. Other questions like why the particular team in that firm, why do you want to work in that field, and a lot about the field itself, because they can ask you different questions on that field. Suppose you want to work in taxation, so they're going to ask you they're going to grill you a lot about taxation and the current affairs going on, any new bill, any new laws that have been passed, any new policies that have been passed. So current affairs is also really important. Current affairs also becomes important in the aspect of group discussions, GD. So most of the firms have GD rounds before the interview rounds. So different firms have different structures to conduct their GDs. Some give you only 2 minutes to prepare, where others give you 5 to 10 minutes to prepare. No firm's gonna give you more than 10 minutes to prepare. So you literally have to rush through all your research and make pointers. You have to introduce your topic, you have to debate for or against it, and then you have to conclude on the topic while taking into account the pointers that have been made by your co-speakers. So what I've learned from my GDs is that you definitely need to be confident. You need to know about the current affairs that are happening, because that is a likely topic that is to come in your GD. Other than that, basic topics come. For example, I'm going to give you all some examples of GD questions that we were asked. The gig economy as a whole, same-sex marriage, should it be legal, not legal, work-life balance, and internet ban, is it a boon or a bane? So you literally get a very limited time to prepare for your GD. So you really need to be very confident. You need to be vocal in your GD, because if you're not talking, then there's no reason why the selectors will take you. But also make sure that you don't keep talking, like don't irritate someone. You need to speak really well, like your communication should be well understood. It should be well delivered, and it should be without any ambiguity. Okay, so moving on to the interviews. Well, interviews are intimidating because you're literally sitting in front of 1-2 partners and they're ready to grill you. Your interview will always start with an introduction of you, your family background probably, and why you want to do law, why that firm, and why the field of law that you've chosen. So this is a basic overview of questions that is asked in most interviews. Then the interviewers move on to your internships. They ask you questions about what you've done in specific internships, whatever is mentioned in your CV. So whatever you mention in your CV under the internship work you've done, make sure you know that very, very well. And surrounding topics to that as well. Don't write any broad topic, because you're giving them the leeway to ask you questions from anything. So write sections if you worked on particular sections, and then understand everything about those sections. So one of the interviewers asked me to tell them a subject that I was very comfortable with, and that they would ask me questions pertaining to that. So I had to make sure that the subject I told them, I knew everything about it, and I would be confident enough to answer whatever came my way. Hi everyone, so this is Anushka Goyal. She got placed at Argus, and congratulations for that.
Thank you.
And today Anushka is here with us to share some questions that she was asked at her interview. So Anushka, what was your interview experience like? What questions were you asked?
So it was a very brief 5-minute interview, and the second I entered, like they were very sweet, they were very calm. They didn't make me feel intimidated or anything like that. So first things first, always know your CV. They started asking me with technical questions from my CV. I didn't know one or two of them. So they asked me about any research proposition I worked on, and I feel this is really important because people who come for hiring, they look for some research experience and not like basic research and all, something that stands out to them also, and which you can put to use outside the knowledge that you gain in your law school. So yeah.
Is there any particular question that stood out or something that was not just general to your CV or specific to you?
Yeah, so they asked me in the end. So there was a tissue paper box kept in front, and they asked me in the end about how I would redesign it. And I got very startled in the beginning. I was like, how do I answer that? And then they were like, okay, this has nothing to do with your interview. We're just asking to get to know your personality. And also, it's not just about the CV. They asked me a few questions about my personality, my family background, how I would deal in certain situations.
Hi everyone, so we have Vidush today with us. He is placed at a tier 1 firm with the disputes team, and today he's going to share the interview questions that he had to sit through. So congratulations on your placement first. And so Vidush, what are the questions that you were asked in your interview?
So because mine was a PPO interview, it was structured a little differently than how placement interviews are held in university. I knew that I'm interviewing for a specific team. So I knew that within my firm, I'm going to be interviewing for the disputes team. So the one good thing that the firm did was send out an email CCing the partner and the HR. That is the partner who's going to interview me. And this partner was a different partner than the team I was interviewing for because their recruitment is done centrally. So in the interview, I was expecting generally technical questions about commercial disputes, about litigation in general, like the most important aspects of the Arbitration Act and the Contract Act. But to my surprise, it was not technical in that sense. It was a fun interview which was divided between questions which were HR based, and you had the firm's HR head interviewing me, as well as a partner who was a dispute partner from their Bombay office, who generally asked me the skills that I picked up during my internships and experiences during law school.
Okay, so is there any particular question that stood out for you?
So I think I was asked a lot of fun questions. I think the foremost being what was the biggest mistake you made when you were interning with a law firm, and how did you rectify that mistake? How did you approach that mistake? I was caught a little off guard because I wasn't entirely sure how much of myself to reveal that moment, but I was honest and forthcoming, and I told them about a mistake I made during a briefing with a very senior counsel, and he was happy with my honesty and he appreciated that I did take efforts to rectify exactly what I've done.
That's great. Hi everyone, so this is Vidhi. She got placed at SAM, so congratulations on that. And today we're going to talk to Vidhi about her interview experience, what questions she was asked. And so yeah, Vidhi, why don't you share the questions that you were asked with us?
So to begin with, I had 3 interviews. I had SAM, I had Tralegal and EZB. So SAM was a very lengthy interview. It was the longest one. It was about 25 minutes. They asked me hypotheticals. So I have a dispute resolution background. So they asked me hypotheticals on contract law, and it was like proper. So initially we began with a little bit of HR questions. He asked me what book are you reading, and like he asked someone else what movies are you watching. So initially they just make a very conversation, try to make you comfortable. He asked me, tell me about yourself. So I began, like I had a little script ready for that. So I began with that. And then we went into technical questions. One partner only asked me based on contract law and stamp duty. So that was both hypotheticals, nothing like direct. He gave me situations and he kept on building on that situations. Again, HR questions came in. She asked me why aren't you going in counsel practice, and just in general, what are location, and if you're like, in Bombay, if you get a senior advocate, would you go for that? Or would you go for a law firm?
Trick questions.
Yes, and then he asked me if you would take a sabbatical, where would you go? And obviously he wanted me to say that I wouldn't go for a sabbatical, so I said that. And the thing is, Sam made me fill a questionnaire a day before the interview, and the HR questions are based off of that question, like the questionnaire.
Yeah.
So it's very like I was prepared for the HR questions. Sam didn't ask me anything out of the blue. Paralegal was a very bad interview for me because it was just very, very tricky. They had grilled me a lot. It was pure technique. So it began with HR. He spoke a lot about how Delhi people don't like Bombay and just trying to make me feel very comfortable in the beginning. But then they started grilling me, and it was not hypothetical grilling. He wanted to know sections and he wanted to know cases, and very specifically, he had an answer in mind and he wanted me to give that answer. So it's very technical. Yeah, so the interview ended with me actually not even knowing one of the answers, and just I was very frazzled by the end of it. But he had grilled everyone. So I was aware that he was grilling everyone.
Yeah.
And I was prepared. When I went on, I knew that I was going to get grilled. And I got mostly IBC questions in trilegal because both the partners were corporate. So they didn't know anything regarding like insurance or dispute resolution. They did ask me about like, I interned at Khaitan before, so they were like, how was your internship experience? And there was time then they asked me like, why didn't you like work there? So I was like, okay. Like they're trying to tap me in answers and
I
everything.
heard that some people were asking if you get a more.
No, Cam got asked that question.
Yeah, so Cam
if
partners
Sam
were
pays you
asking,
more, then would you go there?
Yeah.
And yeah, they do try to like get you to say things which you wouldn't say otherwise. And then AZRB interview was it was okay, I would say mid. It was again very technical. So they asked me differences. So they said that tell me the difference between necessary party and proper party. Current affairs, I think, was asked a lot in AZRB interview because 2 questions came on. Do you know about this new case? Have you read this new case? And I'm just like, no, but okay, let's move on. So that was the AZRB interview.
Hi everyone, so this is Tamanna we have over here. She got placed at AZV, so congratulations for that firstly. Yeah, so Tamanna, what questions were you asked in the interview?
So I was basically asked 2 kinds of questions. One was technical and the other was HR. The technical pertained to the topic of my presentation, and the HR questions were general about the firm, why I want to work with AZB, how I see myself placed there, etc.
So like any particular technical question that you were asked that people should prepare for or something like that?
I believe for technical questions, it really depends on what kind of a topic that you're presenting on, and you should be thorough with that and the surrounding areas as well.
The first, I think, would be stop stressing. It is, I think that's the most important advice that I can give you because it's a very daunting process to think about, and recruitment generally drives a lot of anxiety amongst young law students from like a very early time in their law school life. I think you should focus on what it is that you want to do, and that's a difficult question generally to answer. But by perhaps the end of your 4th year, if you have a basic idea of the field that you're interested in, you'll be able to intern with teams that are doing that kind of work, and trying to build a relationship with them perhaps is the most important. Do most of what law school offers, do your moots, ADR competitions, your publications, all of them are equally important. Perhaps your grades are also a very significant factor in your recruitment process. But overall, just enjoy law school and know that the placements will take care of itself if you do just what's supposed to be done.
So one advice that I would personally give would be to know your CV really, really well. If you don't know something, don't write it in your CV. If you've still written it, if they ask you questions on it, be very truthful. Say that you don't know it, or just try to answer smartly. But yeah, just don't lie about it. So in the end, they'll always ask you if you have any questions for them. I feel you should have questions because it makes you look inquisitive. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much, Anushka.
I think you should definitely research the firm that you are interviewing for, and you should know your partners and any kind of major deals that they are working on, and it is in the public domain.
Okay, thank you so much.
Focus on academics, your grades, because Sam shortlisting was purely like very, very heavy on grades. And I think most firms care a lot about grades. Also publications, because whoever didn't have publications, they ask them like, okay, why don't you have this? Like, why don't you have publications? Blogs and all is also fine. Like, you don't have to worry about having Scopus this young, but blogs and all of that, at least some publications to show that I am more than just academics. And for GD and for interview, both, I think it's just important to be calm and confident and relaxed. You can't show them that you're scared, and you have to show that you're happy to be there. So you have to smile, you have to be happy, because if the minute you show that, oh, I'm so sad, like I'm worried, I'm like anxious, they also don't enjoy the process.
Okay, thank you so much, Vidhi.
Welcome.
So yeah, that's about it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.